Alrighty, guys. Hello and welcome back to the show. This is a 6v6 coming your way on Neuroxus map generator. Neuroxus has once again graced us with a incredibly unique design, which are either jellyfish or testicles, depending on the way that you look at them. So, yeah, I was messing around with a new pedal. So I play electric guitar. For those of you guys who don't know, I recently just got a Digitech drop pedal, which allows me to play songs like Breaking Benjamin or songs from Breaking Benjamin or Spirit Box or Wage War. I listen to a lot of heavy metal music, but my fingers are now really hurting because I've been jamming on it for a long time, and I figured I'd go ahead and do a cast for y'all. So let's go ahead and introduce our players. We got Team 1 up at the top, Team 2 down at the bottom. Starting off with Agony, who's playing Cybran in a forward land position, I'm guessing, for team number 1. First land and maybe second land, third air. Next, we've got his teammate, Psycho Ad, who's going Aeon, first land, and most likely second air after he gets the hydrocarbon completed. Down towards the front, we have Boss 1100 or 1100, depending on how you phrase that. Going Cybran, opening first land, and maybe second land, maybe second air. Kind of depends on this position because he is pretty far forward. To his rear, we have Chip. Oh my god, or actually Chap, who's going Aeon, opening first land. If this is the same dude that he coached me on a couple different games, like way back when, like several years ago. I don't know if this is the same dude, but if it is, shout out to Chap or Chip or however you pronounce that name. But he's going Aeon first land. Next, down to the bottom, we've got Zigster, who's going for a naval factory right now. So first land, second navy. Interesting choice. Then we've got Just Q, Seraphim, first land. And last but not least, for team number 1, we have Nasimka, who is going Aeon, opening first land. And I miscounted. This is a 7v7, not a 6v6. Moving to team number 2, and we got to pick it up. We got Yoji, who is, I believe, the ringer for this game at 2K rating, opening first land. His teammate to the west, Isma98, going Seraphim, opening first land. Down to the south, running on a distance build, we have Furfur, who is building an distance building an air factory. Interesting. Going first land, second air as the Seraphim. And then over to that would be the east. We have another commander that I can't see right now. But either way, it is Bone Doctor, who is going Seraphim, opening first land, second air. And, there's Bone Doctor right there. His teammate that he is passing up is Hollow Submarine, going Aeon, opening first land. I can't introduce these players fast enough because I spent too much time talking about guitar. We have MSG going for Navy. Wow, there's a lot of Navy commitment for this map. I really didn't think Navy was going to be that big of a deal on this map. But first land, second Navy, third land, I'm guessing. And then his teammate in the fringe position is going to be the Geometer. Sorry, not Geometer. The Geometer. Or geometer. I don't know. Is that a real tool of measurement? The geometer? I'm trying to think. That doesn't make... I can't think of a tool that does that. But anyway, he's going Cybran, building factories. First, second land, third air, fourth land, I'm guessing. Okay. So we'll go ahead and level set. This is going to be a really action-packed game for y'all today. It's a little bit on the shorter side, but there is no shortage of action. We already have combat happening from Submarine out of MSG, going in on Zigster's commander, just, being a proper nuisance. We have gun speed on top of gun range coming in for Hollow Submarine. Yoji is already tangling with Psycho Ad on the east or western side of the map. God, I need to learn my east from west. You're supposed to say never eat soggy watermelon, and that is the what would that be, the pneumatic device? Or no, that's not right. Or it might be right. Anyway, that's the way that I remember, like, north, south, east, and west. Believe it or not, it's something my mom taught me whenever I was like 8, and yeah, it stuck with me ever since. 3 commanders on this side tangling with 1 commander from Nasimka. So could be problems here for Nasimka. And we also have Zigster getting chased into the water by Hollow Submarine. And actually, Dark Green, my bad, is just Q. He's on Team 1. So never mind. It's actually a 2v1 situation here with MSG coming in to help his beleaguered comrade here in the Geometer. It's got to be something that like measures the speed of rocks. I don't know, or the formation of rocks. But MSG stopping to grab some reclaim. Pro tier move there, just taking some hits, grabbing some reclaim. Getting it all done. Gun speed and range now on the way for the Geometer. MSG needs to be a little bit careful here. There are good amount of T1 forces here up north for Nasimka, so doesn't want to get caught out. For the rest of this, we just have the Bone Doctor surging forward, as well as Hollow Submarine. Causing some problems here for Boss 1100. Boss 1100, 1500 rated player, definitely knows what he's doing, but he does have an upgraded commander here in Hollow Submarine, bearing down on top of him. And Boss 1100 might be taking a trip to the Bone Doctor here pretty soon. That or the Hollow Submarine, neither of which are euphemisms, but I'm sure you could make one if you really wanted to. Hollow Submarine, interestingly, not very interested in killing the commander, more interested in just absolutely gutting the fish that is sitting in front of him. And we have Psycho Ad coming in for team number 1 and Furfur coming in for support for team number 2. So now we've got 3 commanders on 3 commanders here. Proper 3-way happening here, turning into, you know, something that would happen at a Renaissance festival at this point after dark. Recently, one of my friends told me what happens at Renaissance festivals whenever all the kids and the families leave, and oh boy, it sounds like a really crazy time. But these guys just skirmishing right now. Boss 1100 scrambling to get a gun speed and range upgrade right now, but looks like the Southern team gonna be backing off for the time being, and probably could have pushed this position quite a bit further. These are all vanilla commanders. There was no point defense here. Probably a little bit of a missed opportunity there. Maybe they were worried about Tech 1 bombers or a little bit of air. You know, who's to say? But definitely a missed opportunity there. Could have closed in for the kill, or they just, you know, didn't want to kill somebody who was lower rated, because this game is going to be full share. Torpedo bombers as well out from Psycho Ad. And we do have Isma walking all the way across the pond with his commander. So in a pretty risky situation there. Not unlike the situation my friend was in at the Renaissance Fair a couple weeks ago. But he does have a frigate for the time being for a little bit of air support. Going to be taking some torpedo bombers. Actually, he's taking quite a bit of damage here. He's down to 2,500 HP. Needs to get out of the water as quickly as he can. Is going to be able to make it out of the water, but then where do you go? Like, you're in no man's land, buddy. And you got T1 bombers now hounding your ass. So I mean, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, man. Torpedo bombers in the water or Tech 1 bombers out of the water. There's no good situation here. I mean, there's a destroyer here for moral support, but that's the Seraphim destroyers don't have AA. Their frigates do. But looks like the torpedo bombers may have lost the scent here. Let's look at Psycho Ad's vision. Okay, no, Psycho Ad definitely knows where this commander is. That commander is 100% dead. Right? Yes. Okay. Called it right. I'm a good caster. I know what I'm doing sometimes, every now and then. And over on this side, we've got Yoji growing maybe the biggest pair of balls that I've ever seen, walking into 2 Tech 2 point defense. He does have gun, he does have nano. It's a lot of confidence though, bro. A lot of confidence. Confidence I wish I had. Sometimes I claim I have, and then I don't. But point defense here from Agony, laying into some of the structures here from Yoji. So Yoji gonna have more of a difficult time pushing forward. There's already TAC missile defense up here as well. Yoji with the mobile missile launcher is gonna struggle as well because Furfur has already gotten out a T2 cruiser. We have T2 Navy right now? Oh yeah, well we saw the destroyer earlier. Okay, so we have T2 Navy. So maybe that's going to play a big role in this game. Who knows? We'll see how it goes, which also rhymes, incidentally. Okay, and then over on this side, we have the geometer. Obviously didn't measure the speed of those rocks, man, because he's about to get rocked properly. That is our second ejection from the game. Both from team number 2, actually. So team number 2 down 2 players. They're not the higher rated players. So, I mean, I don't want to call them unimportant, but they are, you know, certainly less important. Like if, you know, it's me and a bunch of 2K rated players. I'm about 1,400 right now. And, you know, if they kill me, then, and they don't kill somebody like Azeros or something like that, one of the 2Ks that is patient enough to put up with my bullshit, then I'd call that a win. Hollow Submarine squaring off against 3 commanders on his own. Zigster, Boss 1100, and Psycho Ad. Does have Tech 2 units here. Psycho Ad in trouble with Hollow Submarine. Is Psycho Ad going to make it out? Psycho Ad is going to make it out. Maybe. Maybe not now. He's not going to make it out. And now Hollow Submarine slinks back to the depths from which he came. Like the submarine that he is. Alright, so that is going to be our first ejection from team number 1. And that was a more important player, 1,600 rated player. We just have another ejection right now, who is going to be MSG, actually. Okay, that one is going to hurt team number 2 quite a bit more. 1,700 rated player getting kicked out here. We have 2 bases here going immediately to Yoji, as Nasimka bearing down on this forward fire base and forward position with decent naval control. Actually, decent naval control was for MSG, but Yoji saying he doesn't want anything to do with that, transferring it immediately over to the Hollow Submarine. Hollow Submarine bagging himself another kill here, and that one is going to be Boss 1100, 1,500 rated player. Another decently valued target. That leaves 2 what you would call pros now left for team number 1 in Nasimka and Just Q. So only 2 pro level players, quote unquote. I think we're all kind of following the Guile metric now, where if you're above 1,500, you're a pro rated player, I guess. And if you're below 1,500 to 1,000, you're a Joe, and below that, you're a noob. Although I don't think Guile ever called anybody noobs. So, anyway, that's my 2 cents. Take it or leave it. It's only worth 2 cents. But that's 2 American pennies, baby. You know? Huge value there. Just kidding. There's like no value there. Tech 2 units from Furfur, though. Provoking at least the response from Chip, or Chap. Got some blazes coming out. The blazes shouldn't be a huge problem, though, for these destroyers. As long as the destroyers are able to find their target, it should be just fine taking those out. Just needs to keep these cruisers alive so that he can get critical mass and then threaten a lot of bases back here, I think is the main goal. This is kind of interesting for Yoji, not being the typical 2K rated player. Usually 2K rated players are going to grab their grubby hands on whatever eco they can, but I guess because these bases were so far across the map, or maybe Yoji is, enjoying a couple of cocktails himself. He's like, I don't really want to deal with that. I just want to chill and micro my own base. And so now Agony pushing forward with a mixture of Tech 2 and Tech 1 onto Yoji. Yoji has his own army back here, as well as a incredibly beefy commander. This dude has been hitting the gym. He's able to bench like 275. He'll be just fine. Then down at the south, we got some, actually kind of a flip. Actually, whoa, we lost Tech 2 Naval Factory there from, this would have been, who was this before? The Geometer, I believe. Either that or Isma. No, not Isma. Would have been MSG. That was MSG's naval base. MSG's naval base is gone. All of this is now the Hollow Submarine, which, if you're going to ask for somebody to play Navy, I guess they should have submarine or battleship or something like that in their name. Plus, it opens you up to a bunch of really, really good battleship memes. Agony, though, playing forward, only has Tech 2, does not have gun, is falling back on his Tech 2 point defense here. Yoji, though, not happy about the attack that he just withstood. Is ready to come out swinging. And like we said, he's been hitting the gym, okay? Agony, it looks like he was a prize fighter, once upon a time. Only with Tech 2, no gun, dropping down, getting taken out. Which kind of rhymes. Maybe. I don't know. If you don't think about it too much, it definitely rhymes. But now Yoji's commander is, I guess, going to clear out the rest of these point defense. Because, going to grab another rank of veterancy, 74 HP restored. He can almost restore. Nano almost entirely negates the one Cerberus turret that's there, so he's not worried at all. Not worried at all. On the northern pond, the cruisers and destroyers have moved into position and are now starting to take out Nasimka. This is kind of flipped upside down. It wasn't looking great for Team 2. They lost several players in a very short amount of time. And Team 1 was gaining. Yoji was pretty contained in his base. They dropped a couple players here on the eastern side of the map, but they lost a couple players here in the middle, and then they lost Agony over on the western side of the map. And now this map is looking much more open for team number 2. We do have, okay, so we have Chap, Juscu, and Nasimka, as well as Zigster left for team number 1. Zigster, I'm not 100% sure what Zigster has been doing here. He's going for Riptides. He also has a Tech 2 Naval HQ, first destroyer coming off of the map. We haven't felt Zigster's presence in this game quite as much. He is a 1400 rated player, which means he is most likely very similar to me, which in the fact that I'm a 1400 rated player, and whenever I get taken out of the map, nobody really knows that I was gone because I didn't really do anything, because I'm a terrible player. I don't know how I have 1400 rating. I keep trying to play the game and drop down to what I think I actually am, which is like an 11 or 1200, and nobody will let me. It's so freaking annoying. Everybody's gonna be like, oh, boo-hoo, cry me a river. Okay, but naval control is starting to become a pretty big problem here for team number 1 in the northern pond, or in the western pond rather, as these cruisers, and we can just let's grab Furfur here, and then we'll grab one of his cruisers. That is the range of these tactical missiles. Okay, Seraphim tactical missiles, I would argue are not as strong as UEF tactical missiles. Main reason why is Seraphim tactical missiles only take one shot from a TMD to be able to shoot it down. If you've got Aeon TMD like you do here, it doesn't really matter. But it is much harder to defend against UEF tactical missiles from the governors, which would be their Tech 2 cruiser. The advantage for the Seraphim is the Seraphim tactical missiles do have significantly higher damage. I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but it is much higher than the UEF. So it's kind of like a question of, do you want your tactical missiles to be, do a lot of damage, or do you want them to be able to punch through a lot of tactical missile defense? And if you want them to be able to go through a lot of tactical missile defense, you should probably go UEF. If you want them to do a lot of damage, you should probably go Seraphim. So kind of a trade-off there, which is one of just the beautiful things about this game, right? All these factions got different strengths, different weaknesses. Somehow it's all balanced, sort of. We'll talk about that in actually my next video, which is going to be about the Revenant Cybern Tech 3 strategic bomber. But we'll talk about that later. The game is very balanced. Balanced without a fault at all. And now you see the governors here in the water for Zigster. So Zigster trying to do what Furfur is doing just on the eastern pond. The only problem is that Zigster doesn't have enough oomph to claim this pond. Like, you've got a shitload of blazes here. And blazes, yeah, they don't have a ton of HP, but they move pretty quickly. And Governor, you've only got, what is it? You got a shield boat, a destroyer, a frigate, and a cruiser. And then some riptides. Like, these blazes are going to absolutely melt this little battle group here. So Zigster is trying to mimic what Furfur is doing, but is just not going to be very successful, because as soon as Hollow Submarine has decided that he has had enough of this little thingamabob, he can just send these blazes out and just absolutely annihilate it. In fact, we can just look at his radar, which he has no radar. Never mind. Okay, he has no idea. For all he knows, there's like 5 destroyers and 7 cruisers out there. Which is, kind of the benefit of us. What commander is this? Zigster. Okay. Zigster. Okay, commander way, way out there. Nasimka. Oh my god, Nasimka. That's not good if you're team 1. That was your ringer. That was your 1900 rated player. That was your balance for Yoji over here. Granted, Yoji has just been kind of chilling, sipping a cocktail, playing only one slot. But now it all goes to just Q, 1600 rated player. And don't get me wrong, 1600 rated players, perfectly capable of playing multiple slots. But at this point right now, Just Q has a lot of work he needs to do. Matter of fact, he's transferring some of this base over to Zigster. Zigster does need maybe some help from an eco perspective. We'll flip this over to mass income. Yeah, Zigster still behind, only at 186 mass income, even after the gifting of that whole base. So Zigster may have just drawn the short straw here whenever it comes to, just overall eco. Well, yeah, I mean, to be fair, you had a 2K rated player here. You go for the Jim Halpert routine of, I'm just going to try and touch the ball as little as possible in this game of soccer. And then torpedo bombers coming across, taking out a lot of the cruisers here for Furfur. Most of them, actually. Only 2 remaining. Took out, I think, 5 out of the 7. Coming back for another pass. Should be able to grab this last one as well. Yep. Okay, so all but 1 of the cruisers are down. And I was just giving my voice a little bit of a rest because I've been yelling into this mic for, 25 minutes. My voice is tired. Hopefully y'all had a really good Thanksgiving. I'm recording this the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So I hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful holiday. Spent it with some family. That's what I did. I smoked a turkey. I smoked a pork butt. Took it down to my mom's place. Had all of my siblings in town. It was a good time. It was a good time. My brother was really mad at me, actually, though, because usually I smoke brisket whenever there's a big family gathering. I do like a choice or prime grade brisket. Put it on the smoker for 15 to 18 hours and then slice it up. It's beautiful. It tastes amazing. And my brother lives in Nashville. So way, way away from where I am. I'm in the Austin area. And so he was really unhappy because he came down for Thanksgiving and everybody's been talking up my brisket. And he was really unhappy with me because I didn't actually make a brisket. Because I didn't actually have room on my smoker to do both a turkey and a brisket. So I did a turkey and a Boston butt or a pork butt, or I think it's also called pork shoulder. Depends on the region of the United States you live in. But it was beautiful. It tasted really good. My brother was not happy though because he thought he was getting brisket. He did not get brisket. He got pork butt instead. Which pork butt is like, we have brisket at home kind of thing. It's nowhere near as good as brisket. But it is very good, but nowhere near as good as brisket, in my opinion. I'm going to piss off a bunch of people from like the Carolinas as well as maybe some of the deep south. I know you guys love your pork butt out there. And I love pork butt too, but brisket, man, that's the Cadillac. That's the Cadillac of barbecue. Restorers out for Just Q. And a nice little ASF raid here from Bone Doctor. Gonna take a couple of them out. Not gonna be able to finish out the whole cloud, and a couple more coming in for reinforcements. So, Just Q going for restorers. Huge land incursion though over on the eastern side of the map. GC coming in. Zigster not at all prepared for this in any way, shape, or form, and that just sucks. You know, if you're living, you're loving life. There isn't a Thoda here from Zigster, but I mean, that Thoda is a solo chicken walking into a GC with a ton of brick support. There is no way in hell that this chicken is able to take down this GC. This chicken is gonna get fried, cut up, butchered. Actually, Awasa coming in to save the day? Maybe? We'll see. What kind of air reaction do we have? 0? Okay. Okay, so this Awasa needs another pass, Just Q. Come on. Alright, chicken's down. Awasa's coming in for another pass here. Gonna hit a lot of the Tech 3 units, actually. Take out most of the bricks, which is gonna be really important, but does leave the GC up. Any air reaction from Team 1? No air reaction. Okay, so this GC is dead. I mean, it did a lot of work. But I think this GC is essentially done. Does the Awasa only do like 1,000 damage? Or 10,000 damage? Okay, so that GC is still up and kicking. And now it's starting to threaten the Tech 3 Air HQ, which is real bad, vacuuming up Tech 2 transports as well. The Awasa is off bombing something else. And Just Q gonna lose the entire air grid here to a GC. And you know, if you're Hollow Submarine, you're not even mad about that because you got another GC down here as well. Yoji has a Fat Boy pushing in. There are a lot of Harbingers as well as an Awasa bearing down on this rather obese child on the front line. And if you're this fat boy, I don't think you're going to be able to get out of here. The Iwasa does go down. Just Q, even calling the GG here. Maybe recognizing that it's over. I mean, this is a really hard position if you're team 1. I don't think it's 100% over, but I mean, this is pretty bad. And we haven't even really looked at the eco this game. 1.3 million to under 1 million for team 2 is up by about 350,000 mass total income. So, you know, not undoable by any stretch, but definitely not good. And I think that's actually going to be a player bowing out there. That's going to be Just Q bowing out. I'm assuming that's going to be Zigster also bowing out, which leaves our buddy Chap, who has a GC coming his way. And we won't waste you guys' time. We'll go ahead and bump this up. But that GC is just going to walk straight into Chap's base, even with the restorers on top of it. And so while this GC is walking in and killing Chap or Ship or whoever it is, I'm going to tell you guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video and any others that you guys might have watched. Please subscribe if you want to see more like this in the future. And yeah, leave a like so that YouTube knows that you like my shit, and that way you get recommended more of it. Got a lot of fun stuff on the channel. Been doing this a long time. A couple breaks here and there, but been doing this a long time, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.